everybody. Welcome to We haven't met yet. I'm Reverend Kristen Powell, the lead minister at Unity of Walnut Creek, and we're broadcasting from home today and excited to have you here with us.
Hi, my name's Brinley. I'm Kristen's partner. Welcome to our home.
And I want to thank our team, our tech team, who has been working really hard to make this happen in a wonderful way for you this morning so that you can enjoy this service and for it to feel a bit familiar at the same time as all the changes have happened. So special shout out to John Nichols, who's really put all of this together on a technical end, and several others on our team like Annie Love Villars and Lisa and Tyler Snorden Phelps, who you're going to get to hear from just shortly. We're going to cut to a song that they've recorded for us from their home. So let's take it away to our music directors.
Okay. One moment. Phil.
Well, so what else can we tell you about our home? We have two dogs who you're going to get to meet at the end of the service, Dakota and Samson. Samson's a newcomer. He's a foster, and some of you know the story that, as many of you reminded us many times, a foster fail. It's true. We kept him.
Yes.
Ready anytime.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We miss you,
Yeah.
and we hope you are well. And we're so glad to be able to share some music with you. So let's bring the band in.
Okay, here's the band. Ah, we missed the real band, but it's better than that. I'm Choosing Heaven by Ricky Byers. Sing along. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. Choose compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I choose compassion today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Back to you.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living, and our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all lives thrive in conscious oneness. Our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom. If you are with us for the first time, welcome. You are invited to fill out a connection card. Connection cards are available for everyone on the Watch Live page. You may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback and request information.
Wow, it is so amazing how much has happened in the past week, and our community has really rallied, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great to watch. I'm honored to be a part of this spiritual community and being able to serve and to watch everyone else serving as well, stepping up in new and unprecedented ways at this time. So, as you know, all in-person events have been canceled at our center. We're all doing our part to co-create the world that we envision, a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness. So you're invited to tune in to our noon meditation Monday through Friday via Zoom. So it's easier than you may think. We know it may be a push for some, and we also know you can do this, and we're here to support. We use the same meeting ID number for the noon meditation. The number is on the slide in front of you, and you can also find it on our website with some further guidance on utilizing the Zoom platform. New online classes via Zoom starting this week. Mindful Yoga with Alexandra Diavalon. Enjoy a 20-minute infusion of breath work and yoga to calm and energize your mind, body, and spirit.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, it really does. The following 2 formally scheduled classes are also moving now to the Zoom platform, which is the Spiritual Discussion Circle with Veronica Wolf and Creating Harmonic Environments with Sounds, Crystals, and Light with John Shin. So please check our website at www.unityofwalnutcreek.org in the coming days for more information and regular updates, and consider joining our Facebook page. And if you're not receiving our weekly e-news or email updates, please check your spam folder or use the connection link on the Watch It Live page to sign up and stay informed. So as we prepare now for our time of meditation, I invite you to join me in affirming our statement of faith. Let's start by taking a deep breath together. And as we settle into our hearts, taking one more deep inhale. And as we release, please join me. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God.
For our reading today, I'd like to share from the Tao Te Ching. This is the opening chapter of the Tao Te Ching, and if you're familiar at all with it, you'll know that there are many, many different translations. So this one is from Brian Brown Walker. So just invite you to remain in that sort of meditated space as we continue. I'll do the reading, and then we're going to go to a music video. So you might choose to stay in a visual meditative state, or you might choose to close your eyes, whatever works for you. So here's the reading from Chapter 1. The Tao Te Ching. Tao is beyond words and beyond understanding. Words may be used to speak of it, but they cannot contain it. Tao existed before words and names, before heaven and earth, before the 10,000 things. It is the unlimited father and mother of all limited things. Therefore, to see beyond boundaries, so the subtle heart of things, to the subtle heart of things, dispense with names, with concepts, with expectations and ambitions and differences. Tao and its many manifestations arise from the same source. Subtle wonder within mysterious darkness. This is the beginning of all understanding. I am home. All is well. I am here. I am alive. I am home. And so we allow that message to move more deeply within us. The reassurance and the knowing that all is ultimately well. For the I am, the divine, the truth of us, and the allness of the universe, the source that created us and that holds us, that sustains us, is here. And we are alive in it, vibrantly alive. There is a vitality that we draw from that in every cell of our bodies, in this knowing, in this remembrance of our aliveness. And finally, we are home. So let us rest in the heart of our hearts, at home, at one, with the one who is here, with the one who is alive, and with which we now join at home in our own hearts, in the stillness. Just as the universe itself once unfurled from a state of complete rest. Silent place from the one who moves us and moves through us and moves as us. Let us know once again together that that great I am, the great comforter, the very essence of love and reassurance, power and the truth, is here, very much alive in all of us. We are home on this beautiful planet, together as one, and so it is. All is well. I am here. I am alive. I am home. All is well. I this river. I am here. I am here. I am alive. I am alive. I am home. I am home. All is well. People in Oakland are sitting outside their homes in lawn chairs having block parties. In Italy, an opera singer sings from his balcony, and others sing with their doors open, house to house. In Spain, the people are coming out in the evening, and they're just clapping for all the healthcare workers and all those who are working on the front lines right now. In China, they say, the air is much cleaner and clearer. And the people in some of the cities that have been so loud for so long, now that that quiet has come, can hear birds for the first time in a really long time. There's a man that stands on top of his apartment building and leads exercises. And people come outside their homes, 6 feet apart, of course, and follow along. The boat traffic that normally is really busy on the Venice Canal, pretty constant, has stopped. And guess what? The water has cleared for the first time in centuries. So while none of us wants this virus to be here, we don't want it to, of course, to harm ourselves or anyone we love. At the same time, something strangely wonderful is emerging. The skies are clearing everywhere, and a new dawn is breaking. Now, a lot of you know we've been in this series, A Many Paths to the One series, for 10 weeks now. It's been a long journey. And each week we've explored a different religion or wisdom tradition. Today, it's pretty uncanny timing that we've landed on Taoism. Taoism originates from China. It's ancient wisdom. And the ancient wisdom it brings us, I think, is really perfect for our times. So we're going to explore this a little bit today together as we dive into Taoism. So the Tao just means the way. And so it's, as you can see on your screen, pronounced Tao instead of Tao, as it might look. And the Tao Taoism was started by a man named Lao Tzu. Now, Lao Tzu, some say was a man, as I just said, that was born in about 604 BCE. Maybe he was a man, maybe he wasn't, nobody's really sure. It could have been a whole collection of people. It could have been a wisdom that sort of developed over time. But we still go with the old boy, the old fellow, the grand old master. These are some of the nicknames for Lao Tzu. There's a great story about Lao Tzu and how the portrait of this religion, this being, this man, this wise sage, at one point he was disheartened because people weren't really following these teachings of natural goodness that he was trying to share with people. They weren't really following the way. And so he got a little disheartened and he climbed on a water buffalo, like all of us do when we get a little disheartened. And he started moving westward, where now Tibet is located. And it's said that there at the gate of Hankou Pass, that there was a gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper sensed something about this man that was special, that was carrying some kind of wisdom that was valuable to others. And he encouraged him to turn back, to stay with the Chinese civilization. But Lao Tzu wasn't having any of it. It was the end of his years, and he wanted to spend the rest of them in solitude. So the man, the gatekeeper, said, well, how about if you just write down what you know? Now that Lao Tzu could agree to. So he retreated for 3 days, and he emerged with some writings, 5,000 characters to be exact, a slim volume known as the Tao Te Ching. So the Tao Te Ching means basically the way and its power. De, the middle word, means power. Tao, we already covered, means way. And so it's this idea of not power the way we understand power in the world today. It's a very different kind of power. It's the divine power. It's the source from within us. And so for us, it requires a sense of humility, a sense of humbleness, a sense of getting out of the way, if you will, so the real way can come through, can interact through us, can speak through us, can shape through us and create through us, co-create through us. So maybe that's a little bit of what's happening now. It seems pretty timely to me, this Tao Te Ching and these teachings. So Wu Wei is a key concept in Taoism. Wu Wei is essentially this idea of, in a way, doing without doing, if that makes any sense. It springs forth from being. It's our actions coming from being. And so if we rest, like we just did in meditation, and then we act from that place of rest, that place of stillness, it's where we get filled up, right? We go back to the well, we get refilled, and then we can spill out our waters. We can share whatever it is that we have to share. We can serve more fully, more beautifully, and enjoy our lives more fully. So Wu Wei, this concept of Wu Wei, is getting into that flow. It's essentially understanding that Wu Wei is the supreme action. And the action starts with quiet, with rest, with listening, with allowing spirit to move through us. Wu Wei is often understood as the way to do is to be. It's one of the sayings that help us understand it. It's when our ego or our conscious effort yields to the greater power. I think you get the idea. I like just saying Wu Wei. When I say it, it sort of reminds me in this kind of whimsical way or delightful way. It brings a little bit of joy to me to say those words, and it's a quick reminder to know that I'm not in control, that I can't make it happen, but I can allow it to happen through me. And when I do this latter, things are a lot more effective. I think we all know this, but for some reason we keep forgetting. And now, well, maybe this is our opportunity to remember Wu Wei and to really get it into the cells of our being, into the deep thoughts of our minds, the recesses of our minds, and into the swirling emotions of our hearts, so we can really be this in the world, to be Wu Wei. Now, one of my favorite books on the Tao is The Tao of Pooh. And so this is a little book by Benjamin Hoff, and it's, of course, whimsical and delightful because it's about Winnie the Pooh. And who to better embody the Tao than Winnie the Pooh, this lovable, simple-minded little bear. Winnie the Pooh is just in the flow all the time. He's actually Wu Wei in action all the time, isn't he? He cares about his friends. He's kind. He's connecting with people. He's loving with people. With, if you call Eeyore the donkey and the rabbit and the piglet, Christopher Robin is one of the humans in the program. And so those characters, the cast of characters in Winnie the Pooh, if you think about him, Eeyore is the pessimist, right? So what does Eeyore do? He frets. And Benjamin Hoff says, you know, Piglet's sort of the anxious one, right? So what does Piglet do? He hesitates. And then there's, of course, Owl, who is very knowledgeable. That's kind of what wisdom that comes from knowledge. What does he do? He pontificates. And Rabbit, the very responsible one, the sort of serious one, right? He calculates. But Pooh, he just is. And that is really the secret of the Tao, to just be, to be present. Benjamin Hoff shares this to really bring the point home and for you to get a little sense of his writing. I'll share with you this passage. When you work with Wu Wei, he says, you put the round peg in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole. No stress, no struggle. Egotistical desire tries to force that round peg into the square hole or the square peg into the round hole. Cleverness tries to devise clever ways, crafty ways, to make that peg fit where it doesn't belong. Knowledge tries to figure out why round pegs fit in round holes and square pegs fit in square holes. But Wu Wei, it doesn't try. It doesn't think about it, it just does it. And when it does, it doesn't appear to do much of anything, but things somehow get done. So that's a little wisdom from the Tao of Pu. And the other element that I wanted to share with you about Taoism is this idea of water. If you think about it, we are water, right? They say, the scientists tell us we're 80% water. We're made of water. This idea of water, of being like water, of flowing like water. If you think about water, it's both flexible and strong, supple in its movements, but also it can be very clear and forceful in its direction. If you think of a waterfall or a rushing river. Our friend Daniel Nema, the New Thought singer that's visited us a couple times at Unity of Walnut Creek, and actually he's coming back, by the way, May 31st. He wrote this beautiful album while he was on sabbatical. And believe it or not, he was in the Red Rocks of Utah when he did it. And there in the Red Rocks of Utah, you imagine that rocky landscape, that dry landscape. You don't really think about water. But that area used to be the sea. And Daniel, when he got quiet during his sabbatical, tapped into those very quiet flowing waters underneath it all. The album that he created during his time of sabbatical in that dry, rocky climate is called Water. And here's its title track. Let's take a listen.
I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best. When I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, he spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me, yeah. I wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound
So what would it look like in your life to become like water, to flow like water? Can you imagine how things might be different? I've really been sitting with this for myself. What would it be like if I really practiced Wu Wei? I could almost cry when I think about that, because it really taps that true space deep in the recesses, maybe like Daniel was tapping that flowing water way down deep beneath the red rock. And when I tap that, I feel personally that if I flowed like water, if I really became water, acted in that way, I'd have more joy. My life would be filled with more rest and more play, more ease, more presence. Maybe that's true for you too, but I invite you to just think about it. If you were to flow like water, how would life be different for you? There's other characteristics of water that I think are really helpful to us to consider at this time. You know, water is really adaptable. And well, we sure are in a time to be adapting, right? To be flexible, to be supple like water. And so how might you adapt to the changes that are being given to us for our lives? What might happen for you as you stay home more, maybe take more walks, find new ways to connect to your own being, to the God of your own being, to the people in your life? You know, water doesn't just flow and adapt. It also, have you ever noticed, it clears when it stands still. Kind of like those canals in Venice that aren't being turned up all the time by the boats and the traffic and the people. And so if we stand still a little bit more or sit still a little bit more, things will begin to clear. You might even declutter your home during this time. But even deeper than that, clearing up relationships. Maybe letting, as the sediment settles and the waters become clearer, your mind to be clearer and more at ease. Your heart to be unburdened. I think there's a lot of lessons we can learn from Wu Wei and the power of becoming like this element of water. There's a passage from the Tao Te Ching, a short one that I want to share with you from chapter 29. Those who would take over the earth and shape it to their will never, I noticed, succeed. The earth is like a vessel, so sacred. Did you ever notice that scared and sacred are so close? It's just one little letter scramble. And it seems to me that right now, I don't know, a lot of us are scared. Or some of us are scared some of the time, at least. And yet we can change that as we shift into this knowing of sacredness. What if instead of being scared, we move toward the sacred? What if we tap that, brought that forth? I think we'd feel a lot calmer, for one. And then we could see some of the wisdom begin to tune in at a deeper level to that sacred vessel that we are, that God is, that the earth is. So in the passage, he talks about those who don't succeed by trying to shape the world themselves. Those of us, I include myself in that, definitely, who try to shape the world according to our own will. He says, they never, I notice, succeed. But what could we do instead? What if we allowed ourselves to be shaped and therefore then shaped the world accordingly out of that guidance, out of that deep listening? It's really all it takes, is stopping and listening, allowing the wisdom to come forth, and then just doing as we are guided, being present to the moment that is affording us right now. So some are asking, how long is this virus going to last? And we could get back to our lives as we knew them. I'm not sure I want to go back. I think the question that we really need to be asking now is not so much how long before we can go back to our old lives, but how long before we'll really look and see in the clear waters the divine reflection of who we truly are. How long before we'll really remember? In Taoism, there's a symbol that you're probably very familiar with. It's called the yin-yang. The yin-yang is a holistic symbol, but in it, it has its opposites. There is a little dot of challenge in opportunity, and a little dot of opportunity in challenge. There's a little bit of rest, or a seed of rest inside action, and a seed of action inside rest. And those two sort of unfurl and dance with each other. They come forth, if we're in Wu Wei, at the right time in the right way. You'll notice that the symbol always has a circle around it, and that circle is to remind us that this is our wholeness. This is the oneness. These different aspects of being, these seemingly opposites, light and dark, masculine, feminine, and all the other opposites we can think of. They don't work against each other. They work together. They work in a natural rhythm. It's another word or way of translating the Tao Te Ching is the way of natural goodness. And so in a way, the yin-yang symbol and meditating upon it helps us understand that. Somebody suggested in our class Thursday night that the yin-yang symbol is meant to be walked along that line that has the two parts to it. So, just a little something for us to consider. It's not for us to force the wings of the butterfly to open, but just to let them open in their own way. And so too it is for us with rest and action and all these seeming opposites. To be, to accept, to allow, to flow. What a way to live. I think it's a lot more joyful, a lot more easy, and a lot more positive for all. In Chinese, the word for crisis means both challenge and opportunity. And boy, if that isn't right on time for us. This seeming crisis is both a challenge and an opportunity. So let's meet this worldwide challenge, this opportunity, with the supreme action of Wu Wei. Humanity's control has been halted now. The divine is in control. So let's go with it. Let's make the most of that. Let's not just hole up in our homes and then, be anxious to get back to our old ways of life. Let's allow this time to be what transforms us. And to come forth from this time in this flow, in this Wu Wei, is to let go and to let God. That's my greatest hope, that we all allow the transformation to happen in us that's happening. It's happening. The world is halted in a way that none of us could have ever imagined, even weeks ago. And so here we are. And here God is. And here is this sacred vessel of earth. So let's go with it. Let's affirm that supreme action of Wu Wei. Let's let go and let God. I invite you to say this with me. Wu Wei, I let go and I let God flow. And so it is. Bless you.
Thank you, Kristen. It reminds me of that quote that we're both so fond of by John O'Donohue, which goes, "I want to live my life as the river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding." Mm-hmm. So thank you. Whether you have a joy or concern on your heart today, our prayer chaplains are available to provide prayer support by phone or email. Please complete a connection card on the Watch Live page or click on the prayer requests at the bottom of the homepage. Our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week. Now, let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Our spiritual home thrives on your continued generosity, And I invite you now to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. In addition to sending checks through regular mail or direct deposit through your bank, there are 2 ways to financially give online. You may click the donate button on the Watch Live page or download the Give app from the Google Play or Apple Store. Give is spelled G-Y-V-E. I invite you to repeat our prosperity affirmation with me together.
Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
All Shall Be Well by Jan Garrett, Megan McDonough, and Karen Brucker.
All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well.
I am walking through the green pastures, and I know that I'm not alone. The song of the meadowlark sings to my soul, tenderly calling me home.
All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well.
I am walking beside the still waters, as fresh as the breeze at dawn. The voice of my ancestors whispering, giving me the strength to carry on.
All shall be well,
Sing with us.
all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well.
Surely goodness and mercy will follow. Love will be leading the way. Every shadow will shine in the fullness of time and bloom in the hearts of the brave.
All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All manner of things shall be well.
All right, that was wonderful. Lisa and Tyler did a live rendition of All Shall Be Well by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin, and they had actually sent that out in honor of St. Patrick's Day this week, so hope you enjoyed that Celtic lilt to a reassuring song. So we want to bless our offering that has been given, collected, sent, written, whatever. We greatly appreciate your generosity. And so knowing that we are blessed in every way, with health, with wholeness, with abundant good, let's say our blessing together and bless our offering. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of abundant, absolute good and abundant good in our lives now. So it is.
So we also want to bless our frontline workers, our healthcare workers, our first responders, food suppliers, and all of those who are still working to meet our needs. Together, we love you, we bless you,
we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light
shining through you.
All right, so now's the time of our prayer of protection and our peace song as we normally close out our service together. And so I invite you to speak the prayer of protection with me now. And when we do that, let's hold all of humanity in mind. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Well, look who's joined us. This is Dakota.
And this is Samson.
And so we want to thank you again for joining us for this service in our home today. And we want to close out with our benediction. You are the love and the light and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine. Have fun and spread joy. Stick around for our hand washing song.
So, we're all doing extra hand washing, right? And you might have been told 20 seconds and sing happy birthday song, but maybe that's boring. Or maybe you want to affirm the beauty and the power and the peace that is in all of us. So you can be singing that song one time through as you're washing your hands, right? God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything